Welcome to Carbine Analysis, the Trauma Diaries number 27. Just sit back with a glass of sweet tea and let's see how I did. And more importantly, how the Maker Rex 110 grain bullets from Druid Hill Armory did.
Brass Catcher by Tactical Brass Recovery.
4 shots, 3 hogs down, 4 wounds, but I think there's something more going on. The first hog shot was a 120-pound sow, and it was shot 2 times. The first bullet going through the neck and shoulder, and the second bullet going through the mid-body. The first bullet entered high on the neck, crossing the neck without hitting the spine, down into the shoulder where it shattered the humeral head. There were 2 fragments recovered just underneath the skin. 1 fragment still remained inside, and at least part of the bullet exited. Here's where you can see where I tried to recover the fragments from the shoulder, and where part of the second bullet also exited. Due to the smell of intestinal leakage, I didn't do much with the second wound. The bullet hit high on the side of the mid-back, probably hit the spine, broke a rib on the exiting side. Part of the bullet was detected with the metal detector underneath the skin, but I did not attempt to recover it. The next hog recovered was the running boar. It came in at 130 pounds. This was a severely quartering away shot. The bullet entered the shoulder, went through the scapula, went through at least 1 rib, then through the cervical vertebrae, and part of the bullet became lodged in the vertebrae, and fragments were found underneath the skin on the opposite side with no exit after about 10 inches of penetration. The last hog recovered was this little shoat that had managed to run about 50 yards after being hit. The bullet entered mid-body on the left side, crossed over, was underneath the skin on the right side. I took it out, and it was just the base of one of the bullets. As there was no exit and no other bullet fragments detected with the metal detector, this appears to be a secondary impact with just the base of the bullet entering the left side, breaking a rib, transcending the thorax, breaking another rib, and becoming lodged underneath the skin on the right side. And for those of you who are keeping count, there were 4 shots with 4 hits with 4 wounds on 3 hogs, but one of those wounds was secondary. That means that only 3 of the shots are accounted for by the 3 hogs recovered, so a 4th hog was hit but was not recovered. Moving on to my next property, I've got a small sounder of hogs. I'm trying to identify males from females so that I can get my shot with my Lone Star Armory TX15 multi-purpose carbine enhanced. But the wind is not in my favor, and here I'm about to get busted. And you can see right here the other hogs come running in. They've already busted me as well, so I'm going to go ahead and take the shot. While that hog went down, it was moving around too much, so obviously still alive. And so it gets a quality assurance shot to put it out of its misery. The hog turned out to be a 150-pound boar, and here on the right side you can see leakage from one of the wounds. I just don't know which one. As the landowner collects these hogs and deposits them elsewhere, I didn't do any significant cutting on it at all. With that said, I don't have a lot of takeaway information on bullet performance, except to say that the bullets are still fragmenting. On the exit wound on the right side, the bullet obviously overpenetrated, but it left a small fragment behind inside the fat. And the same on the opposite side shoulder. There was a specimen that was located in the fat, but I could not actually find it with my eyes. But it was detected with the metal detector, so the bullet again is fragmenting. At this point, I thought I'd seen enough of how the Maker Rex bullets had been performing to make a statement about them, but I got a request to compare them to how the Barnes TTSX bullets had performed, and so I thought I would do that right now. Please understand that these are just my observations. This isn't hard science, and so what I'm going to tell you are my impressions of how these bullets performed. If you've experienced different performance in the field, I respect what you found. This is just what I've observed. In terms of penetration, I think the Barnes bullets get the nod here. They penetrate very well. In fact, they tend to over-penetrate, and I had trouble recovering these bullets from broadside shots. The Maker bullets also penetrate very well, but because the bullets fragment, only part of the bullet is going to be exiting the animal. In terms of expansion, I did not like how the Barnes bullets expanded. They tend to expand slowly. They don't expand fully. However, this allows them to penetrate much more deeply. They just don't do as much damage along the way, whereas the Maker Rex bullets, they expand quickly, they expand fully. It is large expansion, makes for a large wound channel. I like how these are performing in the hogs. In terms of how well the bullets remain intact, I'm not going to say one is better than the other. It just depends upon what sort of performance you're looking for from a bullet. But the Barnes bullets pretty much stayed together all of the time. There was only one bullet that I recovered that had just one petal lost on it, whereas the Maker Rex bullets always seemed to fragment. I never recovered an intact bullet. And so how do the wound channels compare? I would say that the Barnes bullets, in comparison to the Maker Rex bullets, have smaller wound channels. That's because they open more slowly and they don't open as fully, whereas the Maker Rex bullets open very quickly. They do a lot more damage early on. The petals tend to come off, doing a lot more damage in the process. The difference is the Barnes bullets will tend to penetrate more deeply than the Rex bullets overall, and the Rex bullets will have a large wound channel for a shorter distance. So here I'm giving the nod to the Maker Rex bullet simply because the larger wound channel is long enough to reach and go through the vital organs on a broadside shot, which is typical of what most hunters do. One of the things I get asked about bullet performance is how the bullets perform against heavy bone, and in this case I would have to give the nod to the Barnes TTSX bullets because they have excellent bone smashing capabilities. They tend to hit bone and go right through them and continue on. I didn't have any problems with the Maker Rex bullets going through bones either. However, when the Maker Rex bullets hit bones, they leave fragments behind, and so less of the bullet is continuing after smashing through the bone. However, in all the cases in which I recovered Maker Rex bullets that had gone through bone, a good bit of damage was done after hitting the large bone as well, so it's not a problem for them. But again, the Barnes TTSX bullets did a better job. And finally, in terms of performance on hogs, I would say that these are both excellent hog-killing bullets. I give the nod to the Maker Rex bullets simply because I think these bullets do more damage in the areas where the bullet needs to be doing more damage than do the Barnes TTSX bullets. So you've got better expansion earlier on and making it into the vital organs with more damage there. And that's why I like the Maker Rex bullets. However, because the bullets fragment, a lot of people aren't going to like that. People that are meat hunters aren't going to like the Maker Rex bullets nearly as much either because they're going to be doing more meat destruction than are the Barnes bullets. So choose the bullet based upon the performance that you are seeking from it. And either one of these would be a good choice at different ends of the spectrum. Carpe sus, my friends.